What's up, guys, and welcome back. I'm back here at Jeep Ram in Punta Gorda, Florida. Check out this brand new trim level for 2024 Jeep Wrangler. Now, this is a plug-in hybrid, and for this year, Jeep redesigned this vehicle a little bit, giving it some extra features throughout the lineup, but also added up 2 trim levels for the plug-in hybrids. The base one, which is the Sport S plug-in hybrid, and then this top-of-the-line trim Rubicon X, which carries a lot of nice features inside of this vehicle that we haven't seen on the previous years. And today I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle, including the design, the powertrain, the test drive, and the technology. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and don't forget to ring that bell notification ring bell. Now let's get back to this. And of course, we're going to start right up front of this brand new Jeep Wrangler. If you like the color, they call it the Bikini Pearl Coat exterior color, which, not my favorite, but hey, to each their own. And of course, you can see this brand new grille. Now, Jeep redesigned the Wrangler with this brand new grille for all of the 2024 model year, with the exception of the base trim levels on the 2-door non-hybrid ones. And it is a little bit shorter, not as tall as we've seen on the past, but it actually has the same amount of pass-through as far as the air to help with cooling off the engines, because it doesn't have the solid bars right in between those vertical slots. It is all open. It also has the front view trail camera that's standard on this Rubicon X trim. And take a look at this hood. I like how sculpted it is. It has this anti-glare decal right on top, 4xe, and those air exhaust on each side. That kind of reminds me of those shark gills. Of course, on the side it has Rubicon spelled out, and yes, this is still how you open the hood on any of the Jeep Wranglers. Now, the fender flares color coordinated. These ones have the included LED daytime running lights / turn signals and LED lights. You also have the set of fog lights that are also LEDs, and the metal bumper. Now, what's not standard on this one is this winch. This is an 8,000-pound Warren winch that you can get for about $2,000. So if you like to do any type of off-roading, definitely a very useful feature on it. And of course, the plug-in hybrid feature a blue instead of red recovery hooks right on top of here. And before we look underneath this hood, let's take a look and see how tall it sits off the ground. It's got a huge ground clearance, and it is a trail-rated vehicle, which means that Jeep put this vehicle through the test on the real trails, and they checked out the approach, the departure angle, the articulation, all of that stuff that's needed if you want to take this vehicle off-road. So if you're wondering what powers up this thing, well, let's check it out. Well, underneath the hood, you'll find a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine assisted by the electric motor. Total horsepower 375, total torque 470 foot-pounds of torque. So it's a really, really powerful powertrain. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Of course, it's 4x4. And as far as the gas mileage, it gets 49 mpge, which is miles per gallon equivalent. But if you wanted to drive it on the gasoline only, it gets about 20. So not bad at all. Underneath the hood, you'll find some sound insulation, which is not something you typically find on the Jeep Wranglers, and this ugly prop stack. And of course on the side it looks like a typical Wrangler. There's no changes from the last model year, and this JL series Wrangler has been available since mid of 2018. Take a closer look and see what we have. First of all, as far as the wheel and tire setups, we have the 17-inch rims, so typical to the Jeep Wrangler, and a beefy tires. Now those tires are equivalent to about 32, 33. They're 285/70 on the 17-inch rim. Definitely would like to see an upgrade at least to 35s on here. And this vehicle has a beefed up front axle. This is the Dana 44 front axle. You can probably see it peeking through that, and it is the 3rd generation one. And you also have a little bit beefier as far as the struts and as far as the springs in here. So this vehicle can be taken off-road straight from the dealer's lot. So Rubicon spelled out on the side. Right here is your charging port, and you can charge it with your regular 110 volt adapter. That takes about 12 hours to fully charge this battery. Look how cool. There's a little Jeep Wrangler Willys actually climbing up on this hill over here. And if you do find a fast charger, or if you do have it installed in your home, the whole process takes about 2 hours, so much faster. It is a trail-rated vehicle, and as any of the Wranglers, the doors are removable as well as the top, so you can really make it a beach vehicle. Mirrors are black on this particular one, and you have the heated mirrors as well as it has the blind spot assist. All you have to do is press this button to lock it or unlock it, so it has the keyless entry system. And in the back, that's where you fill it out with the regular gasoline. Now, of course, let's don't forget the sequence. If you open it first, of course, the gate, swing it open, and then you can open the glass. Now inside you'll find quite a bit of room for a vehicle in this class. It actually has a lot more than on the 2-door version. A big Alpine stereo speaker on one side, and then on the other side you have the 12-volt power outlet. Not very wide because you have those massive wheels, you know, right here, so that kind of limits the space in here. And what else do we have here? So this is your home charging kit. So you can see this is where you plug into your regular 110 volt outlet. This is your remote for the winch. You know, this is your carrying case for the power outlet, I guess, or for the power cable. And this is another cable. So here's what this is. This you can actually power up your campsite using your Jeep Wrangler 4xe if you choose to do so. This has actually 2 dual power outlets that you can plug in to the charging port of this Jeep and draw power from its battery to power up your campsite if that's what you desire. So here's another cool thing, like with all the Jeeps, you can this is where you place your door hinges, the roof hinges, and the windshield. So it has the specific places so they don't basically just roll around in the back. And this is actually how you open this. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that with one hand. There you go. And then underneath here you'll find the jack, but I do recommend, if you do plan on taking this off-road, to invest in this. A larger jack makes it easier, especially if you're uneven terrain. So again, the sequence: first the glass, then swing the gate closed. Now let's take a look inside, see what we have in the back seat area right here. So first of all, the rear door panel. This is nice soft plastic. This is nicely wrapped. I believe this is the same leather as we have on the seats. Nice and soft, little netting in here for extra cargo. And the plastic but polished aluminum looking trim as far as the door handle. Now inside of here, both driver and passenger seat have some cargo netting in here. In the middle you have a console with your own vents. You also have the window control, USB Type A, USB Type C, and the regular 115 volt power adapter here. A couple cubbies in here for putting in additional items. And now the seats are dressed up in the Napa leather, nice and soft, very durable looking one. You have some contrast stitching in blue, and you have the armrest that folds down, has the cup holders inside. The seats 40-60 split. Now you do it the old-fashioned way. You lift up the bottoms of the seat. By the way, this is where the batteries are, and then you can fold down the seat, for maximum room in the back here, and you can do that 60/40 with both of the seats. Right on top you have the sound bar, so you have 2 speakers, nice and powerful speakers. You can also upgrade them as well, and then you have your lights right here as well, those LED lights on top. As far as the headroom, there's no complaints. I have plenty of room. I'm 5'11", plenty of shoulder room. Sit pretty much straight up in here, but there's a little compromise in here. Let's take a look at a knee room. So here's how much room you have behind the driver's seat. Now I adjusted it to my regular driving position, and I'm touching my knees to the backs of the seat, so not super cramped, but definitely could use a few inches of extra room. And before we get inside, let's take a listen to the sound of the closing door. Actually, it's not bad considering the doors are pretty light. One other thing to mention, you can see that you have the exposed keyhole, but the car comes standard with the smart entry system and the push button start. So in case you ran out of power and you wanted to open it manually, the key has a switch blade that opens up, and that's your regular key blade. Then you have the unlock, lock, twice to start the vehicle, panic button, and the Jeep on the other side. Pretty good looking key if you ask me. Nice to the touch, heavy, kind of looks rugged just like the rest of the vehicle. And inside on the front door panel, in addition to what we've seen in the rear, you'll find the lock, unlock, and the controls for the mirrors. And for the first time ever, for 2024, Jeep offers power seats. So it has the 8-way power adjustments for the driver and passenger seat on this Rubicon X trim, and the 4-way lumbar adjustments. Now take a look at the seats, covered in this Napa leather, Rubicon stitched inside of here, nicely embroidered. You also have the contrast stitching, looking very, very good. Now before we get inside, let's see what these buttons are on the left hand side of the steering wheel. That's important. So you have, first of all, opener for the gas tank release, hybrid, electric, and safe. These are your driving modes. You can do it in hybrid mode, electric only, and e-save. Basically save the battery for future use, and this is where you turn on or control your headlights. You of course have the dimmer in here. The steering wheel, you have tilt and telescoping, manual adjustment. Let's get inside, I'll show you the rest of it. Well, long gone are the days where the Jeep stood up to its name, because if you don't know what Jeep stands for, it stands for just enough essential parts. When they first started making those for military purposes, they wanted to minimize the amount of parts so they can be fixed on the battlefields when they break down really quickly without using special tools or special equipment. There's only a few different wrenches that you need to take this vehicle completely apart and put it back together. At least that was in the old days. Not anymore, guys. I mean, take a look at this interior. It's borderline luxury in the rugged form. Take a look. I like this trim piece right here. I'm not sure what material it is, but it's nicely textured. It's also good to the touch. It's got some contrast stitching. It's got some texture. Really, really good looking one. You also have some places where you can maybe put or attach the camera, like a GoPro if you're going off-roading and things like this. And then this big screen. Now the 12.3-inch screen is standard right now on all of the Jeep Wranglers throughout the lineup, so this is not very special as far as this being on the Rubicon X trim. Steering wheel, good to the touch. Jeep right in the middle, has leather wrapping, contrast stitching. It has a bunch of buttons on each side. Let's see what they do. Now this one controls what's going on in the instrument cluster, and then of course you have the phone pickup for hang up button, voice control, and then this one has the adaptive cruise control settings and the regular cruise control settings here. Then in the back you'll see the gauges, so your instrument cluster in the middle, it's all digital, and analog on the side. So on the right hand side you can see, typical to the hybrid, the power, charge, battery usage, etc. On the left hand side you see the RPMs, and right in the middle right now the speedometer is displayed. We can see it's 21 miles as the current range. We're almost out of gas. 23 electric miles on the 83%, and 12.5 is average miles per gallon. So let's take a look and see what else we have here. So you have the vehicle info that gives you the oil pressure. Now you have the oil life, battery voltage, tire pressure, coolant temperature, trans temperature, oil temperature, and back to oil pressure. And we have number 3 as your off-road settings. Right now it's set up at pitch and roll. And we can also set it up to the drivetrain setting. You can see that the sway bar is connected, and you can see the degree of turning as far as the steering wheel. Then let's go back down here, adaptive cruise control. Then you have the average miles per gallon. So you have your trip settings, 99 miles per gallon current right now. We're using the electricity. And then range to empty, 23 miles. That's enough for us to take it for a quick test drive. Efficiency coach, charge power, e-drive mode. And then go back to the trip info, audio, and 9 no messages, 10 screen setup. You can actually customize it and move certain things around here. And back to the speedometer. This is number 1 setting in here. As far as the infotainment system, let's take a look and see what we have. All right, so we still have the Uconnect system. I believe this is the Uconnect 5. This is your main screen. Right on top, you have a bunch of shortcuts. So if you wanted to heat up the seats or heat up the steering wheel, you can do that here. You can also turn on the climate control, which is off right now, but we can turn it back on. It says it's 63. You can adjust the temperature by sliding the slider on the screen. Then you have the 59 degrees outside, 4:42 p.m. AM radio playing, and then we can go to media. So right now we have the AM, but you can also choose the FM and SiriusXM, as well as the Bluetooth connection to your media device comfort. This is your climate control, your navigation system. It's got a built-in navigation with a bunch of off-road trails downloaded to it, and the ability to download more through this navigation system. I don't have my phone connected to it, but it has the ability to display wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And here's your vehicle settings: mirror, forward facing camera, rear facing camera. Let's take a look at the front facing camera. You see it's got the trajectory lines that move around as I move the steering wheel, and that's important, especially when you're doing off-roading and going on any kind of ramps or maybe even a car wash. That helps out a lot. Here's your rear view camera. Decent quality. I kind of wish that it would take up the entire screen, but not bad at all. Turn that off. Here's your e-hybrid mode. Okay, so right now it's a power flow. See, the biggest draw right now is the climate control, driving history, different schedules, e-save, so it's a battery save right now. You can set this up. Here's your off-road pages. Okay, so we have the accessory gauges, pitch and roll, front camera. This is all important. Also, if you get lost somewhere, you can tell the people the longitude, latitude, and the altitude that you're at, which kind of surprisingly it shows 84 feet below sea level. I'm not sure that we're quite that low. Accessory gauges. Here's everything that you need to know as far as the oil temperature, coolant temp, trans temperature, battery voltage, pitch and roll, and front view camera. And turn that off. You can get out of the off-road pages. You have the controls. Back here, settings. You can set up several different options as far as this vehicle. Set up your profile if you want to, safety and driving assistance. So right now, rear park sense volume at medium, we can set it up to low. Blind spot alert off. Lights and chime. Hill start assist, tire fill assist, hybrid electric, ready to drive pop up. You have the camera settings. Okay, mirrors and wipers, lights, door locks, so many different features that you can customize. Come on guys, it's a Jeep Wrangler. Do you really need all of that? Well, it comes with it, so might as well use it and enjoy it, or just buy the base option of it. But I think the base one comes with it too. Anyway, so auxiliary switches. Okay, you can assign them to the type of auxiliary. Okay, latching momentarily. Power source, we can do it through battery or ignition. Recall lost state. All right, we go back in here. Right now they're not assigned, but you can assign 4 different auxiliary switches to, you know, an extra lights and, you know, anything that you add to the vehicle. And then down here you have your volume power knob. This is all nicely kind of rubber wrapped, so even with the gloves on you can easily use it. And a bunch of shortcuts for your climate control. Here's your battery saving mode. You can put the mute on, turn off traction control, parking sensors off. Here's your trailed, or they call it the select speed shift to 4-wheel drive low. So basically this is kind of your trail mode where you going to be able to crawl in the terrain and turn off the screen if you want to. And then you have your window control, 12-volt power outlet. This is your media station with the auxiliary button, as well as the USB type C, USB type A. Here's your 4 auxiliary switches. And then here's your control for the front and rear locks. And you can select to lock the front and rear lock or the rear only. Here's your off-road plus mode. We gotta shift it to 4-wheel drive first, and then you can disconnect the sway bar links. And here's where you shift it to 4-wheel drive. So right now we're in 2 high. You can change it to 4 high part-time neutral and 4 low. And then this is your shifter. And look at this. Let's get this pretty cool Jeep Wrangler, or I should say Willys icon right on top of it. That looks very, very good. Then of course we have the cup holders, regular brake, and then a tiny bit of storage, and a little bit more if you open this up. Now right on top you have this frameless mirror, anti-dimming mirror. So I mean, if people blind you from the side, you just turn it on and it's gonna darken. And then right here you have the HomeLink system. The roof is removable, as I mentioned before, and you can do it in 3 pieces. So these 2 pieces right here are removable separately, and then the big piece is in the back, depending on what you're willing to or how much time you have to take it off. Now this is the interior of it. Definitely premium, definitely a lot more modern than on the previous gen. Well, let's see how it drives. And before we take it for a spin, let's talk about how much this particular one cost. So this is the 2024 model year Wrangler 4-door Rubicon 4xe. The starting MSRP $61,395. Now it has the customer preferred package 29 which is the Rubicon X, and that includes the Napa leather seats, the 8-way power adjusted driver and passenger seats, the 4-way adjusted lumbar, the heated steering wheel, heated front seats, acoustic front seat area carpet, acoustic laminated front door glass, Alpine premium audio system, active noise control system, connected travel and traffic services, Uconnect 5 with the 12.3 touchscreen display, body colored Rubicon Highline flare, body colored 3-piece hardtop, blind spot and cross path detection, remote start system, automatic high beam headlight control, park sense, integrated off-road camera, rear window defroster, rear window wiper, washer, hardtop, headliner by Mopar, no soft top, steel rear bumper, steel front bumper, and the Warn winch at $19.95 as the only option, as well as the all-weather floor mats. Total MSRP, ready for it? $75,350. That is a lot of money, right? But it has a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty, an 8-year, 100,000-mile high-voltage battery and hybrid system warranty, and it qualifies for that $7,500 rebate if you lease it. So actually, leases on it might not be bad. Just to buy it, that's a lot more expensive than the regular Wrangler. Now, let's talk about pricing of the regular Wrangler, because it varies. The spread is almost $70,000 between the cheapest one and the most expensive one, because the cheapest one starts at about $32,000. The most expensive one, which of course is the Rubicon 392 with this powerful V8 Hemi engine, is close to $100,000. So here's your spread. In between, you have the 2-door, 4-door, a regular Jeep with the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 3.6-liter Pentastar engine, the 2-liter with the hybrid assist system, or the 6.4-liter Hemi on the most powerful one. So definitely plenty of choices and the option galore. So we're not going to spend half an hour talking about it. Let's take it for a drive. Now I'm here on this grassy area in here, and this is definitely where the Jeep Wrangler feels at home. Not on the road, but off the road, even on this gravel trails right here. I'm going to try to take this shortcut here and go inside through this a little muddy area. There you go, like nothing. Okay, because this is what it was built for, the off-road terrain. The question is whether it's going to be able to be comfortable on the longer drives. As a lot of you know, I owned a 2010 Jeep Wrangler JK 2-door, and I love it. I mean, it's great for what I got it for, which is, you know, occasionally going to the beach, taking it in the woods, etc. But I hate it on the expressway. Now I installed the 35-inch tires, 2.5-inch lift on mine, so definitely not a very comfortable drive on this one. Now this is a longer wheelbase, definitely a newer technology on this, and here's we're going through all of these puddles in here, and it feels really good. Let's take it on the road and let's see if the performance and the comfort is bearable as far as the regular drive. Right away I can tell you that it feels 10 times more comfortable than my old one, but you know, that's the new technology, new suspension, new powertrain, and of course this being a long wheelbase that, you know, makes a huge difference. And it's a quick one too. You know, if you, let's stop right here and let's see how fast it can accelerate. Take a look. Get it up to about 50 miles an hour or so. It's pretty quick. Yeah, the 392 is faster, but this is quicker than the regular non-hybrid one. So definitely the 470 foot-pounds of torque, 375 horsepower. Yep, makes a difference. It's actually quiet. Now this one, as I read through the list of options, has this additional sound dampening system, the active noise controls and all that stuff. So definitely it's going to be quieter than if you took one without it. So I mean, it would be definitely your choice whether you go and spend that extra $9,000 for that premium package, or you know, you can stick with the regular Rubicon. You hear the wheel spin right here? Now I'm in the 2-wheel drive setting, so definitely but it's fun to hear that on the Jeep. I don't know if it would do that on with the big tires too, but the ride on it is a lot more comfortable than on the older Jeeps. And I know this was deterred a lot of people from buying one, because when they took it for a test drive, it felt like an off-road vehicle. It felt like the Jeep. This one is definitely a lot more tamed on the road and a lot more comfortable than the previous generations ones, and you can feel it. To be honest with you, I'm looking at this vehicle, reviewing it for you, but I'm also like thinking about maybe purchasing one, or leasing one I should say, because the leases are much better than the finance options here. And positively impressed. Right now I'm in hybrid mode. I don't know if I can flip it to the electric mode only. There you go. I'm in electric mode only, which, you know, 22 miles on electric mode only, or you can go 2 hours of the slow speed terrain driving, off-roading. That's according to Jeep. So if you want to go in and sneak up on some animals without making the engine noise, you can certainly do that with this, and that's very impressive as well. Now, to have this, to have the great gas mileage, to have enough power, and you have the ability to take it off the beaten path is definitely a huge plus in my book. So I'm very impressed with this 4xe. I like this trim package. Like I said, it's borderline a luxury vehicle, and the off-road chassis, the off-road look of it. But this is what sells. You know, take a look at the G-Wagons, $200,000, and people are waiting in line to get those. Defenders, definitely 70, 80, 100, $120,000, depending on which one you choose. And again, people are waiting for it. This is the times that we live in. People like stuff like this. Sadly, most of those will never end up doing what they were built to do, taking it off-road and enjoying it. I certainly would. I don't know, what would you do if you got one? Would you just take your kids to school and to soccer practice? Or would you actually take it off-road? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if you like this vehicle and why. If you don't like it, choose a reason for it as well. Guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoy watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Consider subscribing, give me a like, turn on that bell notification ring bell that you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.